The slap echoed like a gunshot in my skull, replaying on an endless loop as the world faded to black. My 3-year-old son, little Jamie, his tiny face crumpling in shock, blood trickling from his split lip where my brother's ring had caught him. And then the laughter, my parents' goddamn laughter. Sharp and brittle, like shards of glass in a windstorm. Boys will be boys, Dad had chuckled, clapping Ethan on the back while Mom sipped her Chardonnay, eyes gleaming with that twisted pride only she could muster for her golden child. I lunged, screaming, but the room spun, my heart seizing in a vice of rage and grief, and the last thing I saw was Ethan's smirk, smug as sin, before the aneurysm burst and took me down for good. But death isn't the end. Not for me.
Not this time.
I woke up gasping. Not in some ethereal void or Pearly Gates bullshit, but in my own goddamn bed. Sheets tangled around legs that felt too young, too light. The clock on the nightstand blinked 7:14 a.m. July 15th, 2022, the day before the family barbecue where it all went to hell. My hands flew to my face, smooth and unlined, no crow's feet from the stress of single motherhood. I bolted upright, heart hammering like a jackrabbit, and stumbled to the bathroom mirror. Staring back was me at 28, not the hollow-eyed 32-year-old wreck who'd collapsed on the kitchen floor with Jamie wailing in her arms. Holy shit. I'd done it.
Reborn. 重生.
As the old Vietnamese grandma next door used to whisper about ghosts and second chances. Whatever you call it, I was back, armed with every filthy secret, every stab of betrayal etched into my soul like a prison tat. The house was quiet, that sterile McMansion silence in Greenwich, Connecticut, where money muffled everything but the hypocrisy. I was crashing at my parents' place after the divorce. Mark had bailed 6 months ago, citing my family baggage, but really, it was Ethan's shadow looming over us like a bad debt. My brother, the prodigal son, the hedge fund wunderkind who'd clawed his way to VP at Goldman Sachs by 26, stepping on necks and forging signatures along the way. I'd covered for him once.
Twice.
A dozen times, starting with that freshman year party where he roofied a girl from Yale and I drove him home, swearing to the cops it was consensual. Family first, Mom always said, her voice like honey over razor wire. I splashed water on my face, the cool shock grounding me. Jamie wasn't even born yet in this timeline, no.
Wait. Shit.
The barbecue was tomorrow. The one where I'd met Mark. The spark that led to Jamie 3 years later. But I knew the script. Ethan would show up hammered, his latest merger high making him invincible, and he'd eye me like I was the family charity case. Then, when Jamie arrived, God, in this loop, he wouldn't exist yet.
No.
Focus.
Ava.
This was my shot. No more playing the good daughter, the fixer,
The fool.
They took everything from me once, my trust, my son, my life. This time, I'd burn it all down, starting with the truth they'd buried deeper than Grandpa's offshore accounts. Downstairs, the kitchen smelled of fresh coffee and entitlement. Mom, Lillian Harrington, queen of the PDA and silent partner in Dad's real estate empire, glided in her silk robe, flipping through the Wall Street Journal. Morning, darling. You look like you saw a ghost. Rough night. I forced a smile, but inside, I was a live wire. Something like that. I poured myself a mug, blaskas my muet, and slid onto a bar stool. Dad, Robert, The silver fox with a Rolodex of politicians in his back pocket rattled his paper. Ethan's flying in from the city tonight. Big news on that biotech deal. Could make us all very comfortable. Comfortable.
Yeah. Right.
In my last life, that deal had been Ethan's Ponzi scheme in sheep's clothing, siphoning millions from family friends while I played accountant, fudging the books to keep the IRS off his trail. When it blew up, he walked free, charmed his way into a plea deal, and I got audited, lost my nursing job, spiraled into debt. Mark left because of the stress.
And Jamie
paid the price for my fractured world. That slap wasn't random. Ethan was wasted, high on coke from his celebration, and when Jamie toddled too close, knocking over his scotch, it was like the kid was a proxy for every grudge Ethan held against me. Always the winner. Ava, he'd slurred, before the backhand. And Mom's laugh. It sealed the coffin. Not if I can help it, I muttered under my breath. Dad's brow furrowed.
Pardon?
Nothing. Just. Excited to see him. Lies tasted like ash now. I excused myself, phone in hand, and locked myself in the study. First move, reconnaissance. I pulled up Ethan's LinkedIn, same smug headshot, and scrolled his connections. There it was. The thread to unravel him. Sarah Klein, the Yale girl from all those years ago. She'd gone quiet after the incident, but in my old life, I'd found her blog, a whisper of a Me Too story scrubbed clean by NDAs and hush money from Dad. Sarah had reached out once.
Tentative?
After I posted a vague tweet about toxic brothers. Ava, is that you? We need to talk. In that life, I ghosted her. Family first. Stupid. Stupid girl. Not anymore. My fingers flew over the screen. Drafting an email, Sarah. It's Ava Harrington. I was a coward back then, but I'm ready now. Ethan's deal is dirty, same playbook. Meet me, coffee in Stanford tomorrow.
Send.
Heart pounding. I dug deeper. Hacking into the family router password, same as always. Harrington 1, and rifled through shared drives. There, the biotech folder. Disguised as Project Phoenix. Spreadsheets screamed fraud, ghost investors, inflated valuations, bribes to FDA insiders. Ethan wasn't just playing with fire, he was dousing the world in gasoline. And Dad knew. Emails from Robert. Son. Tread lightly. The optics. Optics. That word again. The one they'd thrown at me when I wanted to press charges after Ethan crashed my car drunk, killing our dog, and nearly a pedestrian. Optics.
Ava.
Think of the family. I printed it all, stuffing pages into a manila envelope. By noon, I was in the BMW, Dad's loaner, keys swiped from the hook, and tearing down I-95 toward the city. First stop, a notary in White Plains. Affidavits. Sworn statements. I wasn't just gathering dirt, I was building a bomb. Back home by dusk, I stashed the envelope under my mattress, next to the burner phone I'd picked up at a gas station. Anonymous tip lines waited.
But not yet.
Timing was everything. Ethan arrived that night like a storm cloud in Armani. 6'2", chiseled jaw from personal trainers on retainer, eyes like chipped ice. He hugged me too tight, breath reeking of mince over bourbon.
Sis. God.
You look
alive.
What's with the glow up? Second wind, I said, clinking glasses at dinner. Mom's roast beef.
Crystal wine.
The facade of Americana perfection. Dad droned about golf scores. Ethan name-dropped celebs from his Hamptons weekend. I played along, laughing at their jokes. But my mind was a steel trap. When Ethan leaned in, whispering, "Heard about Mark sniffing around tomorrow's crowd. You gonna lock that down? Or keep being the spinster aunt?" I smiled.
Sweet as pie. Oh,
I'll lock something down. All right. Sleep came fitful. Dreams of Jamie's cry morphing into sirens. Morning broke humid. The grill smoke curling like accusations. Guests trickled in, neighbors in khakis. Aunts with Botox smiles. Mark was there. Early 30s. Venture capital slick. Chatting up Dad by the pool. In the old timeline, we'd flirted over sliders, sealed with a kiss by dessert. But today, I gave him a nod. Polite.
distant.
No entanglements. No Jamie to lose. Ethan was 3 scotches in by noon, voice booming, holding court on crypto scams like he wasn't running one. I watched, biding time, until he cornered me by the gazebo. "Come on, Ava. Lighten up. You're killing the vibe." His hand clamped my shoulder, fingers digging like claws, practice for the slap to come. "Not today," I hissed, shrugging him off. "Back off, Ethan." His laugh was ugly. "Or what? You'll tattle to mommy? Grow up." The envelope burned in my purse. Guests milled, oblivious. Mom called for toasts. Dad raised his glass to family unbreakable. I slipped away to the guest house, burner in hand. Dialed the SEC whistleblower line, voice steady as a surgeon's scalpel. Anonymous tip, Harrington Biotech. Embezzlement. Insider trading. Check Project Phoenix. Names, Ethan and Robert Harrington.
Click. Done.
The call they'd never forget? That was just the appetizer. The barbecue dragged on like a bad hangover. Laughter bubbling over the clink of ice and highballs. But the air felt thicker now, charged with the static of my invisible war. I circulated, plate of potato salad in hand, nodding at Aunt Clara's latest facelift. But my eyes tracked Ethan like a hawk on a rabbit. He was peacocking, arm around some intern half his age, whispering deals that reeked of desperation. In the old life, this was when he'd pull me aside, beg for just one more favor, cook the books for a client dinner, vouch for his alibi in a bar fight. I'd cave every time. The dutiful sister. The glue holding our fractured dynasty together. Not anymore. I'd seen the endgame. Him untouchable. Me buried under the rubble. Mark sidled up as the sun dipped, all boyish charm and prestinos.
Ava.
Right? Your dad's been singing your praises. Nurse at Stanford Hospital? Impressive. His smile was genuine. The kind that had hooked me before, safe, steady. A port in the family storm. In that loop, we'd married quick. Jamie arriving like a miracle amid the chaos. But safe? It was a lie. Mark bolted when Ethan's scandals splashed tabloids. When CPS knocked after the slap incident, questioning my fitness as a mom. "I can't raise a kid in this toxicity," he'd said, packing his golf clubs. Left me with a toddler and a mountain of alimony fights. "Impressive's one word for it," I replied, sipping my seltzer. No wine today. Clarity was my weapon. "What about you?" "Venture capital sounds like gambling with other people's retirements." He chuckled, unfazed. "Calculated risks. Pays the bills." We bantered. Easy as ever. But I kept it light. No numbers exchanged.
No spark fund.
Jamie's ghost hovered. Those chubby cheeks. The way he'd lisp mama after nightmares. I couldn't risk it. Not when I knew the dominoes. Marriage. Baby. Ethan's rage exploding over a spilled drink. The aneurysm from unchecked fury. Rebirth wasn't a gift. It was a curse with teeth. Forcing me to unmake my own happiness to salvage my soul. Sarah texted back during charades, Ethan butchering charades. Naturally. Acting out Wall Street with obscene gestures. Coffee at 2? Blue Coffee House. Bring proof. My pulse spiked. Proof I had. Pages dog-eared in my bag. But first, damage control. Mom pulled me into the kitchen mid-game. Her perfume cloying as regret. Darling. Ethan's girl, Brittany?
She's
Temporary. But you and Mark?
He's solid.
Don't sabotage it like last time with that artist.
Last time.
The painter from art school. The one Dad deemed bohemian trash. They'd frozen my tuition. Forced the breakup. Family first, again. I met her gaze.
Steel in mine.
Sabotage? Or self-preservation? Mom, she blinked.
Pearl earrings swaying.
What on earth? Never mind. I slipped out. Texting Mark. Great chatting. Let's keep it professional? His reply pinged. Ouch. Story there? Always. Block.
Done.
No anchors this round. By 1:30, I was weaving through Stamford traffic, rain spitting on the windshield like God's own tears. Blue Coffee House was a hipster haven, exposed brick.
Pour un verre.
The scent of oat milk lattes masking desperation. Sarah waited in a corner booth. Mid-30s now. Sharp bob and sharper eyes. Nursing a black coffee. She looked up as I approached. Recognition flickering like a faulty bulb. Ava Harrington. The ghost who covered for monsters. No hello. Just that blade of a sentence. I slid in. Envelope between us like a loaded gun. Guilty. But I'm done haunting. This is Ethan's current scam, biotech fraud. Same MO as your nightmare. Bribes. Faked trials. Dad's in it up to his eyeballs. She flipped pages. Lawyerly. Lips thinning. Why now? Last I checked. You were Team Harrington. I leaned in. Voice low. Because he slapped my son. Laughed while my parents cheered. Then I died. Heart gave out from the hate. Woke up here. Yesterday. Second chance to bury them. Her eyes widened. Not disbelief. But the weary nod of someone who'd stared down devils. Died?
Jesus.
Okay. Surreal. But I get it. Trauma loops. She tapped the folder. This could sink them. SSC. DOJ. But you'll burn too, accomplice liability from back then. Worth it. The words hung. Controversial as hell. Family? Blood? Fuck that. In America, we worship the hustle. But when it's your own kin peddling poison pills to cancer patients for profit, loyalty's just another scam. Sarah pocketed a copy. I kept the original. You'll need protection, she said. Lawyer up. And Ava? I'm sorry for what he did. For what you lost. We hugged awkward. Two survivors in a world that chews women whole. Driving back. Wipers slashing rain. I felt the weight lift. Just a fraction. But Greenwich loomed. That gilded cage. Ethan texted. Where TF are you?
Parte es lame ou.
Smiley emoji. Like we were kids again. Before he stole my college fund for his first investment. Home was winding down. Tiki torches guttering in the drizzle. Guests gone. Family sprawled in the den. Scotch flowing. Dad clapped my shoulder. Missed you out there. Mark asked about you. Tell him I'm not interested. Blunt. Mom's fork paused midair. Ethan snorted from the couch. Called it. Always picking fights.
Ava.
What's your damage this time? The room tensed. That familiar Harrington hush before the storm. I met his gaze. Ice to ice. Damage? Like the girl you drugged at Yale? Or the biotech widows waiting for cures that don't exist? Silence crashed like thunder. Dad's face strained. Mom's hand fluttered to her throat. Ethan bolted up. Veins bulging. You crazy bitch, what the fuck? Truth hurts. Brother. I pulled a burner. Dialing 911 live.
Speaker on.
Yes. Greenwich PD? I'd like to report ongoing fraud and assault history at 142 Elmwood Lane. Ask for Ethan Harrington. Tell him Ava says hello. Sirens wailed distant.
Closing in.
Ethan's fist clenched. For a split second, I saw the slap coming early. But he froze. Calculating. You're bluffing.
Dad.
Handle this. Robert stood. Trembling.
Ava.
Sweetheart, think. Family.
No.
The word cracked like a whip. You laughed when he hit my kid. Covered his rapes. His thefts. I'm done. Cops arrived in a blur. Blue lights strobing the manicured lawn. Neighbors peeking from bay windows. Ethan cuffed. Snarling obscenities. Dad lawyered up on the spot. Phone glued to ear. Mom wept. Mascara rivers. Begging. How could you? Easy. I thought. As they hauled Ethan away. Because love isn't blind, it's a choice. And I'd chosen me. But the night wasn't over. As the cruiser taillights faded, my phone buzzed, not the burner. My real one. Unknown number. Ava. It's Sarah. One more thing. Ethan didn't act alone back in college. Your mom. She paid me off. Knew everything. Twist of the knife. Lillian. Complicit? The laughter echoed anew. Not just enabling, but architect. I sank onto the porch steps, rain soaking through, as the house emptied of light. Dawn broke gray and unforgiving. The kind of Connecticut morning where the fog clings to the sound like regret you can't shake. The mansion felt hollowed out overnight. Ethan's room stripped by feds at 4 a.m. Computers seized. Dad vanished to a hotel with his Rolodex of fixers. Mom wandered the halls in a daze. Silk pajamas rumpled. Clutching a rosary she dug from a drawer like it could exorcise the sins we'd all ignored.
Me?
I brewed coffee strong enough to strip paint. Sat at the island sketching escape routes in my head. Second chances don't come with maps. They're raw. Jagged. Forcing you to redraw your whole damn life. The news hit by 8. Harrington heir detained in multi-million fraud probe. CNN ticker. Wall Street Journal front page. Ethan's mugshot. That chiseled jaw slack in orange. Social media erupted. Harrington scam trending. Old Yale alums piling on with decade-old whispers. Sarah's statement dropped anonymous, but pointed, corroborating the roofy nightmare. Predatory patterns, the post screamed. I scrolled numb. A ghost in my own victory. Controversial? Hell yes. Twitter mobs debated. Was I hero or Judas? Family betrayal hits different. One viral tweet read, 50K likes. But if your bro's a monster, what then? The replies fractured. Mama bears cheering. Trad bros decrying feminazi revenge porn. Mom found me there. Eyes red-rimmed. Voice a rasp. How could you do this to us? Dear brother? I set the mug down deliberate. Steam curling like accusations. Us? There is no us, Mom. Not after you paid Sarah to shut up. Knew he drugged her. Held her down, your son, and you wrote the check. She recoiled. Hand to mouth.
I protected him. Us.
The family. Spare me. I stood, towering in the kitchen light. You laughed when he slapped Jamie. My baby, 3 years old, bleeding on your Persian rug, and you cackled like it was a punchline. Boys will be boys, remember? Her face crumpled, but no denial, just a whisper.
He was stressed.
The deal. Stress. Laughter barked for me.
Bitter.
That's your excuse? For enabling a rapist? A thief? For the aneurysm that killed me because I couldn't breathe under your shit. She staggered back, clutching the counter. Killed you? What are you?
Died. Mom.
Last night. In the old loop. Rage burst my heart. Woke up here to fix it. The words tumbled. Surreal even to me. But her eyes widened. Recognition? Or madness? Didn't matter. I'm not your pawn anymore. I'm walking. Packing took 20 minutes. Clothes in a duffel. Laptop. The last of my nursing scrubs. Dad called as I zipped voicemail. Bluster about reckless daughter and disinheritance. Let him. The trust fund was blood money anyway. Tainted by Ethan's schemes and Grandpa's tax dodges. I hotwired the BMW, keys forgotten in the foyer, and peeled out, tires screeching on wet gravel. Destination. Nowhere yet. First. Loose ends. Stamford PD station was a concrete bunker, buzzing with the Harrington fallout. Detective Ruiz. No-nonsense Latina with a stare like a lie detector. Met me in a stale interrogation room. MS. Harrington. Your tip lit a fire. Ethan's singing already. Names.
Dates.
Your father's next. Good. I slid Sarah's affidavit across the table. This too. College assault. Mom's payoff. Bank records in the envelope. She whistled low.
Scanning.
Heavy. You'll testify? If it buries them? Yeah.
Pause.
But Ethan's not the only monster. Family dynamic. It warps you. I covered for years. Accomplice shit. Ruiz leaned back. Appraising. Plea for cooperation. Clean slate if you flip full. Her pen tapped. Brave.
Though.
Calling out your own? That's rare. Or stupid. I shrugged. But after he hit my kid and they laughed? No choice. She nodded. No judgment, just the quiet respect of someone who'd seen too many families implode. Go live your life.
Ava.
We'll handle the rest.
Outside.
Rain eased to mist. The city humming indifferent. I ditched the Beamer at a long-term lot, anonymous cash, and hopped a train to New York. Burner buzzing with Sarah's text, you're free. Dinner soon? Survivors Club. Smiled for the first time genuine. Yeah. Club of one. Maybe two. Manhattan swallowed me whole. Sidewalks slick. Horns blaring. That electric pulse of reinvention. Crashed at a hostel in Brooklyn. Bunk beds. backpackers with dreams bigger than baggage. By nightfall, I was pounding pavement in Chelsea, resume in hand. Nursing gig at a free clinic, no questions on gaps. Harrington, the doc raised a brow during interview. That mess. Worse from inside. Honesty disarmed him. Hired on spot, graveyard shift. Adrenaline fuel. Weeks blurred, shifts stitching knife wounds and broken bones. The raw underbelly of America, where privilege like mine was a punchline. Ethan pled out, 10 years federal. No parole. Dad flipped for immunity. Spilling on politicians from both coasts, Mom sold the house. Vanished to Palm Beach with a prayer circle of enablers. Mark sent flowers once. Apology note, saw the news. Wish I'd known. Trashed them. No looking back. But the twist came on a crisp October eve, 6 months in, as leaves turned the high line to fire. Walking home from shift. Phone rang, real number now. Poured it over. Unknown. Answered cautious.
Ava.
Soft. Male. Edged with gravel.
It's
Jamie. Heart stopped. Impossible.
who?
Laughter.
Warm.
Impossible. Your son. Well. Future son. Look. This rebirth gig? It's weirder than you think. I'm 20 now. Calling back through. Whatever this is. Mom, don't erase me. That barbecue?
Go.
Meet Dad. But armor up. Ethan's fall? It saves us all. Static crackled. Then silence. I stood frozen. Hudson glittering below. Tears hot on cheeks. Jamie alive. Grown. Looping through time like me? The universe's sick joke. Or grace. Didn't know. But as sirens wailed distant, not for me this time, I turned south. Toward the old life. Not to relive, but rewrite. Called Mark that night.
Hey.
About that story.
Dinner?
His voice lit.
Ava. God.
Yes. The barbecue redux was small. Just us. No Harringtons. Sliders. Wine. His hand in mine tentative. 9 months later. Jamie arrived, same chubby cheeks. Lisping mama like fate's echo. Ethan rotted in Sing Sing. Mom faded to whispers. Dad a footnote in scandals.
Me?
I thrived, nurse by day. Whistleblower advocate by night. Penning a memoir that sparked congressional hearings on family fraud. They called that last call vengeful. But it was mercy, a severance. Clean cut. And in the quiet nights, rocking Jamie under stars, I'd whisper to the void, thanks,
Kid.
for the twist. We got our happy ending. They got what they deserved.